Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Inside Golf. I'm Harry Donahue, and coming up on today's show, we'll take a look at a couple recent events that both went to playoff situations. One of them was the Symetra Tour's return to Ravensclaw. That was back in late May. And the other, the Golf Association of Philadelphia Mid-Amateur Tournament at beautiful Rolling Green. That, too, went to a dramatic playoff winner. And in Teed Off, we'll talk about the ongoing problem, whether it's in your foursome or among some of the best players in the world. Slow play on the golf course. That's next, coming up today on Inside Golf.
Inside Golf is presented by Destination Montco Golf. 54 courses, 300,000 yards. Check them out at montcogolf.com. By the First Tee of Philadelphia. The First Tee helps young men and women become better golfers, but most important, better people. Get involved. Visit thefirsttphiladelphia.org. By the Golf Association of Philadelphia, GAP, celebrating amateur golf since 1897. By Jersey Man Magazine, it's a Jersey way of life. And by Philly Man Magazine, bringing it to Broad Street. By the Haverford Trust Company. Quality is in our DNA. And by Inside Golf's partner since 1998, the Philadelphia Section PGA, experts in the game and business of golf. Take time to thank your local PGA golf professional.
Golf is the great equalizer. For many, this journey is an escape from reality, a chance to be part of a team, a career opportunity. PGA Reach impacts lives through golf by lifting people up, giving them hope, and sending them down an alternate path that they never saw coming. With PGA Reach Philadelphia, as in life and in golf, the most important shot you take is the next one.
Welcome back to Inside Golf. Well, as I mentioned in the show's opening, today we're taking a look at the second Symetra Tour event at Ravensclaw. 2 straight years the Symetra Tour has come back to Montgomery County, and this year it was a playoff win. Here to sum it up for us, Rachel Riley.
The second Valley Forge Invitational returned to Montgomery County, Pennsylvania again this week at Ravensclaw Golf Club in Pottstown. It's an LPGA Symetra Tour that shows off and highlights Montco as a golf destination, and this year came down to quite an exciting finish.
Good morning. Welcome to the 2019 Valley Forge Invitational. On the tee from Springfield, Pennsylvania, please welcome Ashley Greer.
Local pro from Overbrook Country Club, Ashley Greer, was among the 132 players that began the quest to win this year's 54-hole second annual Valley Forge Invitational at the Ravensclaw Golf Course in Pottstown. This Symetra Tour event, the 9th stop on the 2019 Road to the LPGA, featured golfers from 26 countries. This year, the qualifying tour of the LPGA will feature 24 tournaments and $4 million in prize money. More than 600 former Symetra Tour players are competing or have competed on the LPGA Tour.
We have 43 countries represented in our membership, and we had over 30 here this week in Valley Forge. We had a very competitive leaderboard, and it's good to see some good golf, and a lot of good players were contending. I mean, shooting 6, 7 under, 64, 65. It was great to see.
The opening round featured a 7-under par 64 by Min Lee from Chinese Taipei. It was a career low for Lee on the Symetra Tour and ties her career low as a professional. Lee then led or shared the lead after each of the next 2 rounds. In her final round, Lee birdied 6 of her first 9 holes, including 4 in a row, and made the turn with a 3-shot lead. But Esther Lee was about to start making her charge. Esther is a 4-time All-American at the University of Colorado. Min Lee made another birdie on hole 11, with Esther Lee making birdies on both 11 and 12. Then on the 15th, Minley dropped a shot with a 3-putt bogey at the par 4 15th. Esther sank a putt on number 16 to create a tie for the lead going into the final holes. Both players finished par-par, although Minley had a chance to take the championship in regulation at 18, but left a 6-foot birdie putt short. Both players returned to 18 for the playoff. Esther Lee's second shot found the left greenside bunker. Her sand shot went 20 feet past the hole, and she missed her par putt, allowing Minley to 2-putt from 12 feet to win.
About this win, it means a lot to me. It's not just a win, or it just gives me a lot of confidence that I'm moving at the right direction. So I'm just gonna keep doing the same thing. If this is working, I'm doing it. Yeah.
And what did you think of the course this week and being in this area? How was that for you?
This is my first time playing in Pennsylvania. Well, not first time. It's my second time. First time was in Lancaster at the U.S. Open. But in Pennsylvania, it's always, the people are so nice here, and then they're just supporting you. Doesn't matter who you are, and I'm really enjoying playing golf here, and with the great condition of the golf course, yeah, I love it.
This is Minley's second win on the Symetra Tour, the last title coming back in 2014. She wins the first prize of $18,750 from the $125,000 purse.
We're excited to see these young athletes get better and better every year. We're also excited that this is a charitable golf entity and event, and this year the proceeds go to the Tri-County Network, who's seeking to raise $500,000 this year for the children and families in Pottstown. Congratulations, Holly.
Dave and Holly, I know that this tournament means a lot to the Pottstown area, so tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we're excited, first of all, to have a lot of young athletes here who are creative and have energy. I think what we're finding in the Pottstown region is new people rising up who have good ideas to make things better for children and families. And so we have a lot of nonprofits in our region, in many respects, like these young athletes who are getting better at what they do and getting better at working together.
And Holly, you can talk about that, about how some of those nonprofits are going to benefit from this tournament. So how's that going to work?
Thank you so much. Well, these funds are going to go into our Amazing Raise Fund, which is a one-day giving campaign that we have over 60 local nonprofits participating in, and will help them raise money and do really good things in the community. We do a lot of youth programming and some other things, so this is a perfect tie in with what we do to support our greater community, and this will certainly go a long way in supporting those 60 nonprofits.
Well, as you can see, another successful Valley Forge Invitational LPGA Symetra Tour right here in Montgomery County, PA at Ravensquaw Golf Club in the Pottstown area. So on behalf of the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board, and of course, Monty, I'm Rachel Riley.
Thanks, Rachel. And coming up next here on Inside Golf, Marty Emino joins us as he recaps another recent playoff situation. This one from the Golf Association of Philadelphia's Mid-Amateur Tournament held at Rolling Green. Stay with us. That's next on Inside Golf.
Everyone is looking for something. Consistency. Quality. Peace of mind. Found. The Haverford Trust Company.
The first tee of Greater Philadelphia, where golf is more than a game.
And welcome back to Inside Golf. I'm Marty Emino. Philly newcomer and Palm City, Florida native Will Davenport stole a page from the Sixers playbook and trusted the process en route to a victory in the 36th Mid-Amateur Championship.
Davenport from White Marsh Valley defeated a dogged Andrew Keeling of Kennett Square in a 4-hole aggregate playoff at a challenging Rolling Green Golf Club for the season's first major title. Davenport completed the 4-hole playoff rotation in 17 strokes with Keeling counting 18 shots. A playoff was needed after the duo finished the 36 holes of the championship tied at even par 140.
It's not so much results, it's more how I feel the process. And I think there was no weakness in my game this week. Areas which had previously been weak, I was strong, and I only hit in one bunker, but I was short-sided and got up and down. You know, like things like that, that little confidence boosters when I needed it to get things done. That's where the most positivity will come from. Yeah, every part of my game felt pretty good. I mean, that's obviously what it takes, plus a few lucky bounces to get a win. But I'm very encouraged, and you know, I have nothing but time to practice this summer, and so I'm hoping to see the game continue to improve.
In regulation, the 26-year-old Davenport appeared to be home free. That was before a spectacular eagle birdie finish by Keeling eliminated a 4-stroke deficit. Davenport bogeyed number 18, forcing extra holes.
Yeah, at 18, I hit a great drive right as the ball was in the air. The horn sounded, so it was good to get that out of the way. I knew I was in good position. I had like 140 in, up the hill, and after seeing Will's drive, I figured, hey, a birdie here could tie it. So we figured out the number. I played a pitching wedge, and I pretty much took dead aim just right of the pin there. Hit it right where I wanted to, and pretty much had a straight uphill putt. So I was happy to see that one fall.
Both players had the opportunity to think about that final hole. A third weather delay lasted more than an hour before they returned to the golf course.
I got out the gate slow and tried not to get rattled by it. I made 3 bogeys in my first 5 holes, I think, but it was little mistakes. The swing felt good still, and then locked it down and played really solid from there out. And, tried to keep my head as level as possible. Of course, with the rain delays down the stretch and waiting for an hour to tee off on 18, knowing that par would win was tough. And clearly, I didn't rise to the occasion the first time around, but was happy to see it work out in the end.
As you can probably tell from the tone in his voice, there was no panic in Davenport. In the playoff, Davenport immediately grabbed an advantage by rolling in this birdie from 6 feet on number 15, the first playoff hole. Keeling made par.
I was able to set the tone well in the first hole of the playoff, hit a really good shot into that pin, and then playing from the front makes you a little more comfortable.
The pair then exchanged equal strokes on the next 2 holes. Davenport went bogey par, and Keeling double bogey birdie. Davenport held a 1-stroke lead, 12-13, heading once again to number 18. Typically a par 5 for the members, it was a par 4 for the championship. On the final playoff hole, both found trouble off the tee in the left tree line. Davenport's approach landed short, and his chip left him with a 15-foot par try. Keeling knocked a 6-iron onto the green from 180 yards and left him staring at a 30-foot birdie putt. Davenport watched his up-the-hill par effort finish just short of the cup. He would make bogey. Keeling, looking for some more dramatics, also watched his birdie effort fail to fall. Left and needing a 10-footer for par to force a sudden victory playoff, Keeling's attempt veered left.
This is my first of the majors, and yeah, it couldn't have been a stronger run tournament between the venue, the course setup. I mean, just stuff like this with the media situation. I mean, it's an honor to play an event like this, and certainly to hold the trophy, and is something I'll be carrying with me for a long time.
A quick thumbnail on Davenport. He just completed year 1 in the Wharton School MBA program. He's set to return south after graduation to work for the Boston Consulting Group, probably somewhere in the healthcare sector. Though an unknown locally, his golfing talents and history speak for itself.
A lot of the guys on tour were in my high school class randomly, and so I got to match up with them in college and lost a playoff to Brooks a few years ago that I was just like, he got so good, why can't I get a little bit better and compete at a national level? And so I played a lot of amateur national events. I didn't have too much to show for it. I ended up making a run at US Open in 2015, missed by a couple shots, and again, Australian Open by 1, and Euro Q School by 1, and it just felt like, I felt 3 feet tall at the end of that stretch. So golf will beat you down, but days like this, you're right back on top of the world.
Davenport is now 1 for 1 in Gap Majors. I guess we'll have to see what he does the rest of the year for an encore. For the Golf Association of Philadelphia, I'm Marty Emino.
Stay with us. Up next on Inside Golf, our teed-off panel from Bluestone Country Club will talk about the ongoing problem, whether it's in your foursome or anywhere else, of slow play and the game of golf. That's next on Inside Golf.
Of the 3 or 4 in the group that are taking their time. And it always seems like the other 2 or 3 members of the group always then scramble, alter their game to make up the pace.
Welcome back. Inside Golf continues. Time for our teed-off panel. And today we're at Bluestone Country Club, Bluebell, Pennsylvania, where they still have going on their 2-year incentive membership program. For more information, all you have to do is go to their website, bluestonecc.com. Chris Gardner is the head pro. He's back with us today here on Teed Off. Good to see you again, pro.
Thanks. Yeah, glad to have you.
Thanks for hosting again. Oscar Mestry's back. He's a member of the board. In fact, he's like the vice president of the board of the Golf Association of Philadelphia, member of Overbrook Golf Club.
Thank you for having me.
How's your game? That's a crazy question to ask. I know the
Currently
answer.
okay.
That's a rhetorical question.
Currently okay.
I'm sure it is. And Joe Monforto, Director of Communications for the Philadelphia section of the PGA of America.
Nice to see you, Harry.
All right, good to see you. You know, normally Joe Logan is part of our panel all the time. And one time Joe and I were talking about slow play, and he said that, you know, anytime you want a topic of discussion for golfers, slow play is the topic that keeps on giving. Why is that, Joe? That we're always talking about, no matter what level, we could be talking about majors, PGA Tour, LPGA Tour, club golf, municipal golf. Chris, slow play is on the minds of a lot of people. Why is it never corrected?
It typically is because you're either in the group that was slow or you're in the group that was behind who was slow. And so regardless of where you actually played that morning, you probably were affected one way or the other. And if you were potentially the slow group by time, whatever golf course you're at, then you probably had someone, a marshal, a ranger, a golf professional, probably right near you, pushing you along, which doesn't always make anybody feel very good, especially when they're trying to enjoy their round of golf. At the other side of things, if you're behind that group, you're also asking the golf professional and or marshal ranger, can you speed them up? So again, everyone is always looking around at a way to get done just a little bit quicker.
I don't know, clubs, regardless whether it's a public or private course, have recommended playing times. So, do you have one here at Bluestone, for instance?
We monitor it pretty closely, but we look for 4 hours for a foursome. And that is most closely watched during prime time, weekend mornings, and Thursday middle of the day. That if you're not adhering to the 4-hour pace of play, you either must speed up a little bit or you can have the option of letting a group play through you.
Oscar, now you play competitive golf a lot in addition to just social golf at Overbrook. What, as a member of the board of the Golf Association of Philadelphia, tell us about, for instance, in GAP events.
Okay.
What's the policy? How do you enforce the policy?
So in GAP events, you know, the tournament organizing team, currently headed by Kirby Martin, comes up with a pace that the golf course, under competition, you know, taking a little extra time for putts, should be played at. We have a 4 checkpoint system. 4 holes into the round, you know whether you're on pace, you know, behind pace, and at that stage, we proactively, you know, start monitoring the players that are behind pace, recommending to them that they start speeding up, because once they miss a checkpoint, you know, they're on notice. Once they miss 2, they're subject to penalty. So it is. And I believe at this stage it's a change that we've made now probably 6, maybe 7 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. But it has dramatically improved the enjoyment by the field of these events.
What percentage would you say of golfers, be it in a tournament or just recreational play, are habitual offenders? Do you know what I mean?
I would say the percentage, I mean, and this is just off the top of my head, I'd say it's probably 10% at the most.
But that's enough.
But 10%
in some places slow
could
it really
affect
down.
the, you know, the other 90. unfortunately.
Right.
Very adversely. So
they always talk about protecting the integrity of the field and all that
Correct.
stuff for other rules violations or.
And that one is just as important. You're right. You're absolutely right.
It can be a problem. Now, Joe, as a spokesperson here for the section, PGA section, what, like Oscar says, GAP has certain policies. What are yours for tournament play?
Yeah, the Philadelphia PGA, we have our own tournament policies. So for our section events, all of our rules officials for that day will have the pace of play. We set it similar to what the Golf Association will do for those events. Our rules officials will have that. Now, we don't have a tried and true 4 checkpoint system, but all of our rules officials will be notified if a group is out of position or off of their time. If they're one or the other, we'll monitor them, see if they can close that gap themselves. If they can't, we'll have our rules officials kind of speak to them a little bit and saying, hey guys, you need to, or girls, you need to pick it up, you're out of position. Meaning that the group in front of them there's a hole open. You know, obviously we schedule our tee times 10 minutes apart most of the time for our tournaments, so there should never be a hole open. And then if they're unable to pick it up, at some point there will be a penalty enforced. But most times when groups are put on the clock, there are 1 or 2 people of that group that know what the situation is, and they'll do their best effort to kind of usher the rest of the group along. Right. And more times than not, they will be able to close the gap or better their time as the rules official stays with them.
I think I think one of the most frustrating parts of that is there might be one of the 3 or 4 in the group that are taking their time. And it always seems like the other 2 or 3 members of the group always then scramble, alter their game to make up the pace. And that's really what the most difficult part is, that those that are most conscious about their group being slow are the ones making it up, and then that individual may or may not have a rules official pushing them along. And now all of a sudden you get done and you're like, man, I wish I wasn't rushing all day. That's not right. You know, that's not fair.
You know what Oscar said, when there's maybe 10% that are the solo players, or if that 10% is at the beginning of a tournament field or the beginning of a member day, you're going to pile that on throughout the rest of the tournament unless you can make it up. So if all of a sudden you're behind because of the first group or second group being slow, just factor that in as you get into hour 3 or 4 of that event.
And if it's a shotgun, it doesn't matter where they are.
No. Once it gets behind, you're never going to be able to catch up.
Shotgun doesn't matter where they are.
Right.
They're going to hold up the entire course.
And I'll close on this note. It doesn't matter what the quality of the player's game is either, apparently. History, for instance, one time they asked Roberto Di Vincenzo about slow play or individuals, and it came after he had a dinner, and he said, this dinner was like Jack Nicklaus. It was very good and very slow. And Sam Snead one time said he could smoke a pack of cigarettes in the time it took Ben Hogan to take the putter back. So we're not talking here about hackers.
Right.
That may sometimes be victims of that dreaded phrase of slow play. Thanks, gentlemen. We'll be back. More of Inside Golf in just a moment.
Located in Bluebell, just a short drive from Plymouth Meeting, Bluestone Country Club offers a setting that's close at hand but feels like a world away. Bluestone offers a championship caliber golf course, practice facilities including a large driving range, separate chipping and putting areas, and a staff of PGA professionals. At the Country House at Bluestone, you'll find excellent food, superb service, and an outstanding setting. Their expert staff will assist in planning your next event, whether it's a wedding or simply a luncheon, dinner, or cocktail party. Check out Bluestone's variety of membership options. Much more than a golf course, Bluestone is a community.
At Citadel, we're here, and here, and here. We're right around the corner. We're here for life's big moments, for that big step, and to make a difference. We're here and here. Whether you're managing money, purchasing a new home, or saving for that special moment, we are here for you. Citadel, banking with one focus, you.
guys want to come with us?
That's going to do it for this week's edition of Inside Golf. I hope you enjoyed our recap of the Symetra Tour event, the Valley Forge Invitational at Ravens Claw, and also the Golf Association of Philadelphia's Mid-Amateur Tournament. Both pretty exciting finishes, both at the Valley Forge Invitational and another playoff winner at GAP's MidAm at Rolling Green. Now, next week, we'll be right here at McCobie Run. It's in Green Lane, Pennsylvania, in Upper Montgomery County. It's a centennial year for the golf course that was once farmland, and the family then turned it into 18 challenging holes. In fact, where I'm standing is one of the highest points in Montgomery County. I'm Harry Donahue. Remember, no matter how bad it's going for you out there, don't pick up, and we'll see you next week from Green Lane, Pennsylvania, and McCobie Run, right here on Inside Golf.
Inside Golf is presented by Destination Montco Golf. 54 courses, 300,000 yards. Check them out at montcogolf.com. By the First Tee of Philadelphia. The First Tee helps young men and women become better golfers, but most important, better people. Get involved. Visit thefirsttphiladelphia.org. By the Golf Association of Philadelphia, GAP, celebrating amateur golf since 1897. By Jersey Man Magazine, it's a Jersey way of life. And by Philly Man Magazine, bringing it to Broad Street. By the Haverford Trust Company, quality is in our DNA. And by Inside Golf's partner since 1998, the Philadelphia Section PGA, experts in the game and business of golf. Take time to thank your local PGA golf professional.